really, really drunk on sake. So
That kind of drunk is unique as well. I found, at least for me, it's a very unique kind of
it
drunk.
is. It's
It's
not.
very
Yeah,
warm.
it's warm and it's almost like it's not like you can feel your face. It's almost like you can't feel your calves. It's that kind of drunk.
So wear heels when you drink sake because you're going to be pain free from the knees down.
Something down.
Wear your crazy stripper heels that night.
So we run back to our bar and we get a case of Red Bull and a couple of bottles of Jaeger, and we decide to go back to my bar manager's house. To just, I mean, a case of Red Bulls, now that I know this, is too much. You
It's a
don't need that
lot.
much. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
You don't need that for 2 or 3 Jaeger bottles, but it goes down, and we're just hammered. So next day
Hmm.
is Christmas morning, and I know at some point I need to meet my boyfriend's grandparents. So I go to,
Good timing.
yeah. So we start out, we wake up and I'm like, God, I just don't feel awesome. And he's like, okay, you gonna be all right? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be all right. He's like, all right, we're gonna go to my parents' house. We'll unwrap some presents and then we'll end up to my grandparents' house. I'm like, all right, sounds good. Well, we go into his parents' house and I'm like, it's cold outside in Florida. Imagine that. It's probably like 40 degrees. Inside the house, probably 80. And like we're opening presents. I've got the good face on. At this point, I can still handle a decent hangover because I'm young and I haven't hit 30 yet. And so I'm not feeling great. The room's spinning just a tad. And he wheels, I don't know if it was wheeled out or I had to move to this room where he has this big ass box. And I'm like, I'm not good at getting and receiving gifts. This will
Hmm.
be a trend that you'll see throughout this podcast. I have a
That's why I just send you shit in the mail so you can just not see my reaction when you open things.
I'm not good at receiving gifts or compliments, but continue.
Hey, Jenny, by the way, you're beautiful and I love you.
I love you. So he wraps it in like I don't know if it was cardboard or what. I think I opened it and then it was cardboard and like this big cardboard box. And I remember opening the box and like this big warm fragrance of cardboard just consumed, like hit me like a ton of bricks. And
Warm
I
cardboard.
got so nauseous. And I remember sitting there thinking, hold your shit together. His family is in this room. Do not throw up on this gift, whatever
Hmm.
you do. And so apparently, I'm not good at facial expressions in this instance, overcoming things. And it's a big flat screen TV, which,
Hmm.
yeah,
Okay.
there was a lot of that. Okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
All right.
But all right, that's amazing. I'm still trying not to throw up on it. Um,
Oh.
so we exchange other presents, everything's fine. Then we get in the car to head to his grandparents, and he goes, "Are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, I just don't feel good." And he goes, "It just seems like you really didn't like my gift." And I'm like, "Oh no, it was a great gift. I'm so sorry. I was really just trying not to throw up on it." When I opened the box, like this cardboard smell just hit me in the face, and I've never been nauseous by cardboard, but I am. And
Such an awkward thing to be nauseous by.
oh,
So
so
weird.
it was so weird. And I'm
So
like, I
weird.
really thought I was going to throw up on it, and I didn't want to. Apparently, I didn't handle that correctly. So that's actually not the weird moment. We go to his grandparents' house, and we walk in, and they've been cooking for obviously like 30 hours. The whole
Uh-huh.
house smells like amazing Cuban food, and it's a pure delight to someone who is sober.
Sure.
Yeah, that house is probably 90 degrees.
Oh God.
And I remember it being small and cute
Hmm.
with about 15 to, yeah, God, it felt like 15 to 20 people inside.
Mm.
So I'm like, God, this is so good. And they're like, well, we're not ready to eat yet. And I'm like, I really need to eat something. I can feel myself
I might die.
I'm going to die. And someone goes, oh, honey, do you need some? I'm like, well, I thought we were coming to eat. And I'm still working on last night's alcohol feast. I just need something to absorb this alcohol. And they're like, okay, would you need to step outside? I'm like, I do. I need to go outside. So I go outside and I walk to the edge of their garden area and I get sick.
Oh, no.
The first time I meet the grandparents, I am puking in some sweet Cuban late grandma's backyard. In all my glory. And it's the best thing about doing this is the fact that it's outside and it's at least there's a chill in the air.
Wait, they're Cuban?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, this isn't something they haven't seen before, I promise you.
They should be accustomed to this. Is that what you're saying? Oh, dear.
So I get sick and I go inside and they're like, are you okay? And I'm like, I don't know how to tell you this, but someone's going to have to. I got sick behind that bush. So just a heads up. And someone goes, are you hungry? I'm like, I need something. And they're like, would you like a cracker? I'm like, sure. Now the house smells amazing of all these like things. And it looks like everything's like ready and like prepped and plated, but they're not allowing you to eat. It's like they're holding it back until I don't know what they were waiting for. But I was just like, yeah, can I get a cracker? Can I get something? So I eat a little bit, and this is still not the weird moment. After we finally eat, and I devour it too fast on an empty alcoholic stomach. Not a good thing. I end up getting sick again. That's still not the weird moment. I eat a lot, and then I'm tired, and I fall asleep with my head in my boyfriend's lap. I know. I end up having a sex dream.
While you're there.
While I'm there, head in the lap, small living room with like 10 to 15 of his closest family members. And I start moaning in my sleep.
That's insane.
And he gives me a little nudge. And I'm like, huh? And he goes, you're making noises. And I'm like, I'm sorry.
I'm just having an orgasm in my sleep. It's no big deal. Like, just leave me alone. It feels nice.
He goes, we're going to talk about this later, but you can't go back to sleep.
You're not allowed to sleep now.
Happy holidays, everyone.
I think the best part of that story is thinking about their retelling of that story. Remember when you brought that girl home and she puked 3 times and then had a wet dream in your lap in the middle of our living room? That's probably the better part of that story. I think, Ginny, I'm not going to listen. I think you're great, but I think that from that point on, everybody else that he ever brought home was measured against you.
Well, at least you didn't come on our couch. We like this one.
Oh gosh. Okay. Do you guys think this is weird? The next chick he dated, he did marry. They're a lovely couple.
Are they though? I feel like you're holding something back here.
I don't think she's a big fan, but it's not going to be the first.
Well, the story isn't going to help.
No, it's really not.
Their wedding anniversary is on my birthday.
Really? That's weird.
So every time he sends me a, hey, happy birthday, I send a happy anniversary.
Oh, like so strange.
And the only thing like I'll say to maybe help him in this situation is it is also his parents' anniversary. So I guess he was going for that nostalgia, like we're both married on the same day. But he knew it was my birthday. So that's weird.
That's a weird lineup. Got to be careful about the dates thing. People hold emotions to them.
Yeah, she just really doesn't like me, and that's fine.
Yeah. Well, that happens, right?
They're not all gonna like us.
No, they rarely do.
Do you have any holiday deal?
Yeah, it's I have a holiday story. It's not related to necessarily a boyfriend or a lover, but got away with some crazy bullshit that I probably shouldn't have. Like just a little ridiculous for family. My little cousin had just turned 21, so this is in the Midwest, and our family would get together at Christmas and go to our grandparents' house. And my baby cousin turned 21, and he had just gone through a big breakup. So he was ready to go out and forget about the breakup. But my little cousin is a reserved human being, kind of shy, kind of socially awkward, tremendous human being, just very shy, and had gone through this big emotional break and wanted to go out. So his dad, my uncle, who I'm close with, said, you got to take him out, show him a good time, bring him back in one piece. So my, at this time, boyfriend, who I got engaged to, like, let's take him out. So we take him out to, I think this Christmas was like on a Sunday. So we take him out to a place we know all the bartenders. Obviously, we're still in the bartending gig back in the day. And my little cousin continues to take shot after shot after shot and is just raving about his ex-girlfriend and how he is broken and how she did terrible things. And I'm just getting like the full story, right? There's like all this dirty nonsense involved. And he was in the military, and there was someone at the bar that he was military police at the time. And there was someone else in the bar who was a little older that was military and kind of like overheard the conversation and was like already kind of making rude comments. And my ex at the time was like, hey man, just like mind your own business. Like you stay over there away from our situation. It's fine. Right. Like he's kind of running his mouth a little bit. So my baby cousin continues to take these shots, and I'm at the point where I wasn't going to drink that night with him out because I wanted to be aware of the situation, what's happening. He was from a much smaller town from where I grew up in, so going to like the city, the big city, to go to the bar was a big deal, and we're under these emotional circumstances where bartenders were feeling bad for him, so we're making him these mixed shots, and we're like passing them over the bar, and I'm like, stop. I'm like trying to cut my cousin off. I'm like, you need to stop. Like he can't handle this much. And provided he's not a big guy, he's about my size plus a couple inches, couple pounds, like not a very big guy. So when these shots would come over, grab a handful of straws out of the straw caddy and throw them in the shot and drink the shot in like 2 seconds, like just slam them into the shot glass and drink the shot before he could even grab the shot glass. So after a few rounds of that, everyone's pretty toasted. My baby cousin ends up in the bathroom the whole night, and it got nasty where the he was on the ground in the bathroom, and the guy that was not into military police from the military decides to come in and yell at him in military commands to try to get him off the floor, which wasn't working. Long story short, we end up in the hospital because the police came because the bartenders called an ambulance, and my baby cousin was fine. They just hooked him up to a banana bag. But coming home at 4 a.m. with a incapacitated baby cousin with a hospital band around his wrist, sneaking him into my mom's house, hiding him, and the next morning waking up and he's playing video games with my little brother. And everything
With the bracelet still
everything
on?
was smooth until my mother noticed the bracelet. And she's like, where'd that come from?
Rookie move.
And we're all like, how do we talk our way out of this? And we didn't. Tony was like, he did not know how to handle the situation, my baby cousin. So the next day was that was the next day where we had like the lunch, the family gets together to eat the leftovers and drink the rest of the booze. And I got a lot of bad looks from aunts and uncles, and baby cousin had quite the story to tell. But I kind of got stamped as, I turned into the cousin that looks out for everyone, the oldest cousin that watches everyone's back, to the cousin you don't go out with because you may end up in the hospital in one fell swoop. Super embarrassing.
Sounded like a good time to me.
I mean, it's a great story. But at that time, like when your aunts and uncles hand you a cousin in their hands to go treat him well, and then you come home with it.
But they did say show him a good time. They didn't say treat him well. They said
This
take
is
him out,
true.
show him a
This
good
is true.
time.
And to be fair, like I did my best to control the alcohol, and sometimes it happens.
They just didn't want